So decorator pattern. A decorator pattern is a structural design pattern that allows adding new behavior to an object dynamically without altering the original structure. What does it mean by that is basically instead of modifying the original class or creating a numerous subclasses to accommodate different combinations of features, the decorator pattern utilizes wrapper objects that implement the same interface as the original object. So let's get started with an example. Imagine you have a coffee class. Instead of creating a milk coffee, sugar coffee, or vanilla milk sugar coffee, you just wrap a coffee object with the decorators like milk decorator, sugar decorator, and so on. So each particular decorator acts as its own behavior, and a wrapper basically updates the object state accordingly without having any subclasses explosion. Here in the code base we can see that we have a basic coffee class where we create an instance of which cost around $5, and milk decorator has a specific property which increases the cost by 1, and after increasing the cost of the base coffee object, it basically returns the coffee instance that we pass in a constructor function. So what is milk decorator actually doing? It's basically taking the object or an instance in a constructor and updating the state of that particular object that is passed from a constructor. So it's basically acting as a mutable object. Instead of creating a new object, we are basically passing the same object and updating the state of that object and returning the object. So that is how decorator pattern works. Basically we have created an base coffee instances with that cost $5, and that particular base coffee is passed in a milk decorator because I want to add milk in a coffee. So it's basically acting as a feature and updating the state of that object instead of returning a new object. So that is how a decorator pattern is work, and here is a code base example.